Hello, friends, and welcome to another week of the Launch Sequence podcast. I am your host, Keenan, or Space Tomato as you know me. And today I have SxyBiscuit here with me, a newcomer to Star Citizen. Been making videos for a while, just started with Star Citizen though, and just kind of getting into the flow of things. How are you doing today?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I've been excited about this. Today's been one of those lazy days. You know when you just wake up and you're like, I have no plans.
Yeah.
No plans at all. And then you're just like, well, I have something at the end of the day I want to do. So I ended up playing Fallout 4 all day.
Okay. That's a twist. So you
Yeah.
Do you play Fallout a lot then? Are you into the single player RPGs a lot?
Oh, I love them. Yeah, Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game of all time.
Okay, yeah.
Fallout 4, I've probably spent the most time in any video game. Fallout 4's building system, I could spend hours just building little towns and love that. It's so addictive. And then I've modded it and I've got a radio show I'm listening to in there, which is it's like an apocalyptic radio show, and they've put it into the game, and it's like 15 episodes and they're all like an hour long. It's amazing. So I've literally just lost myself today.
That is so cool. That sounds honestly like the experience a lot of people get into Star Citizen for. So is that a Fallout love? Is that a Bethesda love? Is that an RPG game love?
I've always loved RPGs, but I love the world of Fallout and the lore. I want more experiences like that. Mm-hmm. Like Fallout New Vegas' story alone was phenomenal, but I mostly enjoy just exploring dilapidated worlds. Okay. And I find that kind of stuff fascinating.
What did you think? Just quick opinion. What did you think of Fallout 76?
I was so angry when that announcement happened. I almost cried. I was so angry. It was an absolute train wreck.
Yeah.
They've played it since, and it is a lot better. It is a ton better. It's a completely different game now. Is it as good as something like Fallout 4 or New Vegas? No. But I wouldn't put it down now. I wouldn't. It's free on Game Pass. I mean, you can go and download it and play it.
Did not know that.
Completely free.
Oh yeah, it's Bethesda.
Yeah. I like some of the stuff they did in that game in terms of one of my favorite little things is the fact that any weapon you pick up, you can go to one of the weapon workbenches, destroy that weapon, and you will then learn how to make one of the attachments that was on it. And that is such a cool little thing. So even if you destroy something, you're gaining something.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. Yeah,
right? And also, trees in the world, you can just take wood off the trees. You don't have to find a specific place for wood in the game, which is a really smart little thing.
Yeah.
That's the only major positives. But,
kind of goes downhill from there.
When you have people dancing in front of you, it just kind of ruins the illusion.
Well, yeah, that was a sad story, and I know that's really hurt the company a lot. I've been a big fan of Bethesda. I played mostly the Elder Scrolls Oblivion game. I did try Skyrim. I didn't really get that much into Fallout, but I've seen them. I've watched them played, and I know they're good. I'm very, very excited for Starfield. And I know a lot of people are hesitant about it because they think, it's Bethesda, they're going to ruin it. I think there are a lot of things happening that mean Starfield could be a success. And, to see Bethesda's spirit in a sci-fi setting like that sounds really cool.
So excited.
Yeah.
Do you ever play The Outer Worlds that was made by Obsidian?
Yes. Yeah, I played it for a bit.
Okay, so Obsidian is the one that originally started Fallout, and they ended up making New Vegas after. I was really excited about The Outer Worlds, and The Outer Worlds I thought was going to be this big space epic where you could go to any planet and stuff, and it wasn't. It was very shallow, unfortunately, in terms of exploration and stuff. In terms of dialogue, it was great. Starfield, though, I'm thinking is going to be like a single player narrative focused version of Star Citizen.
Yeah,
like that's the idea I have in my head.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been kind of like telling people. I'm like, hey, this is exciting. There's just a lot of pushback because it's Bethesda. I think they got to prove it, I guess, for a lot of people.
They've been using the same engine since Oblivion.
Yeah,
Oblivion. They've been literally patching it together with sticky back plastic. You know, it's sellotape and blue tack. They've been just holding it together as long as it can go, and it's gonna break at some point. And they should have changed it for Starfield.
But that's the thing. They did a really, really big reboot on the engine for Starfield. They didn't change it, but they did update it a lot. I'm thinking, you know, the difference between maybe CryEngine and Lumberyard, or CryEngine StarEngine. I don't know how much work they've done, but
yes, but at the end of the day, all they're doing is just adding stuff onto the original engine, right? They're not redoing the engine.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to have that back end of the engine that's still going to have all the bugs from Fallout 3 and all the bugs from New Vegas. And if it's not buggy, it won't be a Bethesda game. We need the bugs.
Yeah,
it's important we have the bugs. But I don't care. I just want to play it. I want to mod it. That's going to be another massive thing with Starfield, is going to be modding support, because Bethesda's always fantastic with that.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's a good time to be a sci-fi fan. I just got back from watching Dune last night, and I'm just like, the movies, the TV shows, the games, it's just a good time.
Yeah, it is.
But anyways, let's get to the real story of the conversation. You, obviously, in your time with Star Citizen. So
it's. Yeah.
Well, did you play Elite Dangerous before Star Citizen? That's something I want to know.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I played Elite Dangerous when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it on PC. Well, this been when it was still in. Was it in early access? Alpha at one point.
I don't know. I didn't get into Elite Dangerous till like 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
it came out in 2014, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that it was in an early access kind of state.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I remember that, and at that time it was a little bit basic. Obviously, you didn't have the planetary stuff. They added that with the Horizons update. I liked Elite Dangerous. I thought it was really cool being able to fly my own ship and go out into this humongous star system. Well, not even just star system,
huge,
many star systems.
Yeah.
You know, like thousands. And I like Elite Dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
but after playing Star Citizen, there are things that have kind of gone, oh.
That's one way to put it. So
yeah.
So were you playing Elite Dangerous throughout that whole time since 2014? Or are you kind of on and off?
On and off. I haven't like fully. I don't think I ever massively dived into it. Whenever I got a new flight stick or whatever, I'd boot it up and play it.
Okay.
I did have it at one point where I had voice attack working with it, and I was able to like shields up, engage,
That's
all
fun.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it is good fun. But that was like my biggest time with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard the Odyssey update just came out, and I've bought that and I've installed it, and I haven't had a chance to fully play it yet. But I want to.
So throughout that whole time, had you heard of Star Citizen?
So I think I heard of Star Citizen. There was a video that was released. I don't know how many years ago, because I don't remember when this was, but I remember seeing a video of someone going into a hangar, like getting into their own ship, and they bought that ship, and I was like, well, you've bought that ship? And I was really confused. And then there was another video, I think, that was put out by the team, the Star Citizen team itself, where it was you could fly from a space station down to a planet and pick someone up from like from a base and then take. That blew my mind. I thought, oh, that's years off. And I'd heard like on the sides that the whole scam thing, which I don't personally believe. I'd heard that stuff, and I think there are those people who have only heard of Star Citizen with that
through that microscope
negativity. Yeah. And I think that's quite detrimental, unfortunately, and it's a not right image. I think that it's a lot more, and we can talk about that later. But
yeah.
yeah, I had heard about Star Citizen. I just I knew my PC wouldn't be able to run it.
Okay.
And B, I had no clue where to buy it. I was like, well, it's obviously not out yet because it's not on Steam. So
Right, yeah. So where do I even go for
PC
this?
games on Steam. Yeah, every PC game's on Steam.
Yeah.
And it's not on there. So
Yeah, that's that's probably, I'm assuming they're always going to be using their own launcher. I've seen people, theorize that maybe someday they'll release it on other launchers so that more people can play it. But that's always been kind of an interesting thing to me. I joined PC gaming with Star Citizen. I actually played consoles for most of my life. So it was like around 2015, 2014-ish, I started doing PC gaming. So the first launcher I downloaded was the Star Citizen one. I didn't realize that there was like a regular, like an industry standard, if you will, which at that time was Steam. So it's never been weird to me, but that is something that I've come across where like I've told somebody about the game and they're like, oh, I have to download another launcher for it.
There's so many now.
Yeah, there are. Now that I spent a couple years now, I'm just like, okay, stop it.
Please. You don't need 15 different EA Plays or Ubisoft Connects or whatever their new ones are. And then we've got Epic and GOG's got their own one now. It's like,
and then you're trying to play with friends and they're on this launcher. So do you need to add them in your friends list here, or like where do you send the invite? Just, it's too much.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Yeah. I'm thinking at one point they are going to add it to, because a lot of MMOs I've noticed were originally with launchers have then moved to Steam after a certain amount of time. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
you tire out your market. You want some new blood. So
that's a great marketing push. Put it on Steam.
Yeah.
And then a ton of new players are going to see it.
Yeah. So you got into the game in September and you started making videos, and I've watched some of your videos. They are freaking hilarious. But one of the things I think you do better than a lot of other people who are making videos out there, is you capture the excitement that a lot of people feel when they see, to be honest, I guess kind of novelty features that just make the game feel so much deeper and richer. Has there been like a favorite thing that you found in the game so far, like a favorite little detail or something that you just never would have expected?
There's been so many little ones that I've come across. I think there was a video I released about a week and a half ago, and I was on my way to a mining job, and I ran across a derelict ship in space. It was a Connie. And there was no mission connected to it. It pulled me out of warp, and I was like, well, quantum. I always use warp because I love Star Trek. It pulled me out of quantum and was like, there's something in the way, you need to go around it. And I ended up EVAing over to it, and it was, what? There's this Connie here. It's blown up. There must be some story behind this. In my head, my cogs were whirring, you know. I was thinking about all these different possibilities of what had happened to this Connie. And then immediately after that moment, I come out of Quantum in front of, I think it was Eta, one of the moons. It's whichever one is the massive orange one. It's
Ariel.
Stunning.
Or Aberdeen.
Is it Ariel?
Ariel, yeah.
I think it was Aberdeen. Okay. I pull out of Quantum, and it's I'm in my prospector, and which is that chrome, polished chrome.
Yeah.
And you just see the light bouncing off of this moon, the orange hue, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was speechless.
It was reflecting off of the ship too.
It had that orange hue to the ship. I could even see the moon in my cockpit windscreen. I could it was magical. It was a little magical moment that really impressed me a lot.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It's like, and then you think about how that light is actually going from the star to the moon, from the moon to your ship, from the ship to the character. It's just it's wild because it's so big. You know, it's one thing to do this on a map level with like a square kilometer, but doing it on that scale and to know that you're looking at the same light that somebody else on the other side of that moon is looking at is crazy. 100%, I agree with you.
I think it was that aspect of just everything's connected and everything's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Someone could be mining on in Daymar or whatever at Shubin, then someone else could be over at Microtech, and we're all doing our own things at the same time, and just all of these fantastical, brilliant planets with their like their atmospheres and stuff all going on at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the scope is insane. And I honestly don't care right now that it's only one star system. I don't care that we've only got Stanton. Of course Pyro is coming, but
yeah,
I don't care because there's so much that I am yet to explore. I'm in love with it. I really am.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And there's tons and tons of space in this one star system that they could just fill up with more gameplay. If anything, they could contain us to one star system for as long as they need, as long as they're putting enough stuff in there to keep us entertained. I mean, we only have 50 people per server right now anyway, so.
Yes, and that was something I haven't noticed that, which is weird. I was assuming I'd be never seeing anyone because of how big this area is.
Yeah.
It was kind of the whole No Man's Sky situation where it was like, it's multiplayer, you'll see someone.
Multiplayer.
Yes, multiplayer.
Yeah.
You may never see anyone else because it's so big. Which was actually an excuse they used when they were still lying that it was multiplayer.
I remember. I remember that. They were like, oh yeah, you could find your friend. Then people would go to the same spot on the same planet and they wouldn't be there.
And they took pictures and everything. Yeah, it was amazing. It's the scope. It's the scope. It's how massive it is.
Yeah.
And when I go to a space station, I'll always see someone, and that's the thing that blew me away the most, because there are only 50 people in this massive area, but you still run into quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
For your journey, and that's quite impressive. I don't know how that happens. I'm guessing people just like subconsciously do the same kind of routes.
Yeah, it's very centralized still because there's just not much gameplay, so you spend a lot of time either, I guess, going to space stations to do things or respawning at space stations. I don't know, but it's a good observation because like 50 people, and it is a lot of space. But you're right, you still end up running to like one or two people every time you go to a city or a space station. Never
alone.
Yeah, it's very
kind
centralized.
Of interesting. Yeah, and I was just going to say one more thing. In my first video, I was running around going, that's a player. Oh, that's a player. No, they're all just NPCs. But the NPCs are done so well that they move in weird ways. They look at their pit boys. They all animate and do human-like things. And that's another thing that kind of doesn't matter as much if I don't run into someone, because there's always going to be NPCs that I can, in my brain, be like, oh, that's other people. Yeah, and they're
running pretty poorly right now. You've seen the conversations, you've heard the people talk about it. The back end is not running very well for the AI, so they don't do things correctly. I think you actually came in during the era of chair standing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, I ended up going to a bar in Orison last night, and the bartenders were missing.
Uh-oh.
I don't know where they go. And then all the people were stood on. Yeah, all the people were stood on the stalls. It was terrifying.
Just madness out there. What's going on in this bar? Bartenders.
It's the new fad. Yeah, it's the new fad. Everyone stands on chairs.
You still see it sometimes, the standing on chairs. But yeah, there's a lot of problems with the way they describe it, is that the server refresh rate it falls behind because of the load on the game, and so then the AI can't update their actions, and they end up freaking out and losing control, and so they don't do like you run into them at the bunkers and you try and shoot them, and they just kind of sit there for a bit and then they start shooting you.
Yeah, no, in terms of enemy AI, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. So
it's not good.
And you'll see it too sometimes when like AI just walk into walls and stuff. But it's the little things.
Yeah.
And they have over the last, I want to say 10 and a half months now, in the monthly reports, they've announced at least 12 different types of NPC behaviors that they have ready to go that just we can't see because the server can't keep up with that stuff. So they're going to get better.
Yes.
And hopefully they won't stand on chairs.
Yeah. No, well, you have one every now and again. There was actually an NPC in a bar the other day that I saw who was doing a chicken dance. I thought it was a player. It wasn't. It was an NPC. He was just at the bar. He'd go back into his standing at the bar animation, and then he'd stand up and then just start doing the chicken dance. It was brilliant.
You gotta.
I don't know what was going on with him.
You gotta wonder what the programming language was for that sequence of events. Like if at bar, player nearby, chicken dance.
Yeah, right. It must be like motion activated. Yeah.
So right now we're in the middle of 315 PTU, which is an exciting time for the Star Citizen community. As somebody who just got into all of this, I'm guessing you're kind of still getting used to the whole idea of like how it goes from Evocati to PTU to live and like all these terms. What's your take on all of that? I know it's different.
I don't even know what Evocati. What is that? Is that the live servers?
Right. Yeah,
no idea.
Evocati is the group of people who are on NDA who are testing this stuff before it starts to go out to the rest of the community. So
I've seen the name going around. I just didn't know what it was.
So they're generally like, they will be dealing with a crash every 5 minutes. They'll be dealing with like ships spawning in bedrooms. Like they get the worst of the bugs when the build just goes live. They figure that stuff out for a couple weeks, then they pass it to PTU. And that's why like you don't really see much of that stuff because it's under NDA for whatever reason.
That's brilliant. You just wake up in the space station and there's just your ships above you, like, all right.
All kinds
you
of.
came to bed with me.
There are some crazy glitches that happen. They're scary ones. I've seen glitches where people's limbs will like stretch to the width of the spaceship, and they'll be walking around like a giant spider, and it's creepy. It's nightmare stuff.
It's terrifying, but also amazing. So yeah, I'm still getting used to 314.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of course, I came in at a really weird time because as soon as I started, I had 314. I was like, yes, let's get into this. Let's learn the game. And then everyone's like, no, it's going to be white next week. And you have to relearn everything. I was like, So it's been an experience of trying to catch up with everyone and understand that these big changes are happening. Because there's so much about the game I don't understand still.
Right. There's
a lot.
It must be a flirt. I mean, you came in probably, I would say, out of the last 3 years. What year is it? Yeah, like 3 years of development. You probably came in at the most turbulent time. I think right now. There are game-changing features being added. There is a big wipe happening. CitizenCon just came out with a bunch of news. Like, it's crazy right now. So
yeah.
Good timing.
CitizenCon as well. Oh, that happened. And then everyone was like, you need to watch CitizenCon. I was like, what's a CitizenCon? And they were like, oh, it's a thing. I was like, oh, great. And then so I live streamed it. I live streamed it. I was sat there. I was like, what is happening? What is all of this? I don't understand. My brain hasn't caught up. It was crazy. Like amazing. The stuff where they're talking, like technically, I sat down around a table talking. It was going over my head a little bit because I was still processing the clouds that I'd just seen in the.
Yeah, you and me both. I was going over my head. I've had to watch the videos like 4 times afterward.
Yeah, right. And the fact that I think it was in the ship talk section. They were like, we're going to talk about the new ship. And everyone in my chat was like, oh my God, they're going to talk about this brand new ship. The guy looks at the camera, he's like, the ship you've all been waiting for, we're going to show it. And then I was expecting it to pop up on screen, and then they all turn to each other. Now let's talk about something completely different. It's like, no. The whole chat went mad.
Thank you. Yeah, they did that with one of the Banu Merchantman. I think you probably saw the gigantic. Yeah, so they were like, okay, so I think maybe this is what you were talking about. They were like, all right, so let's talk about this ship. And then they started talking for like 3 minutes, and they just wouldn't show a picture of it. And everybody in chat is like, they're just trolling us.
And then they showed a carrier that was like just had a couple of ships on top of it, which everyone was like, "What's this?" And then I was like, "I don't know. I don't even know the ships that are in the game. Out of anyone, you guys should know, right?"
So, what did you think of the whole event? Like, you mentioned the clouds. Let's talk about the gameplay demo. Like, what was that to you?
Okay, the first thing, the 400i, that opening shot.
It's a beautiful ship.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning. I immediately wanted it. That's the only ship I've seen so far that I've wanted to physically buy with money.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I saw that and was like, that is beautiful, especially with the skin that was on it. It was that darker,
that
kind
dark
of like
chrome gray kind of skin. Yeah.
And one of my community very kindly ended up gifting me a pre-order. And I've been able to
awesome.
fly it. And yeah, I'm gonna say right now, Star Citizen community so far has been phenomenal, amazing.
Yeah,
one of the best communities out there.
Untouchable.
So yeah, I mean they're just so lovely and kind and welcoming and helpful. Yeah. Like I've had so many people offer to be like, I can show you how to do that. Or I can show you this ship if you want to see it, you know? Yeah. So the 400i was the first thing, and then fly through those clouds, and like the rain hits the windshield of the 400i. I was like, the whole time before that, they were like, oh, they're going to be showing clouds. And I was like, come on, that you can't beat Microsoft Flight Simulator that just came out. That game's clouds. Mm-hmm. Then they showed that, and I was just like, okay, that's slightly beaten. I didn't say nothing. It was stunning. And then they land on that planet, Pyro 3, I think. They land on the planet. And he steps out, and he goes to that little cabin. Not cabin.
The little outpost.
Nothing like a cabin. Yes, outpost.
The future cabin.
It's a wooden cabin. He steps out onto Tatooine, and he goes in that place, and then that whole sequence of them showing all the different ways you could do it.
Mm-hmm. Showing the choice.
Blew my mind. The fact you can sneak around, you can go up to the top and go in through the ceiling. You can sneak around and take these people out. You can literally just hold a man up at gunpoint. You can do everything that you'd be able to do in real life. Like, my brain wouldn't stop firing. It was amazing.
Yeah, the use of choice. That's a great introduction to the game. I think that's gonna be very much appreciated whenever it does come in, because right now everything feels kind of linear. The way you do it. You said you kind of tried some missions. I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're going to either go to pick up one thing, take it to another place. That's it. Yeah. Or it's go and take out a group of people in a security section or something, which I did yesterday, and they're okay. Unfortunately, in those circumstances, the AI lets it down a little bit. I did the 890 jump one, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, when you're stood there shooting people and they're just like, huh? Huh?
Bullets?
No. Did you hear something? No, I heard nothing.
Yeah.
That takes me out of the experience a little bit. I really did. I did enjoy that mission though. I think. Thing that I can't wait for is when we have the shop clerks want them to interact with us. Because right now, and it's something that they showed in that gameplay they actually did, it's like bartenders in the game currently do. Yeah. If you go to a bartender and be like, hey, I want a drink, and he's like, what one do you want? And I'm like, Malibu and Coke, and he's like, yeah, okay, and he goes and makes it. That's awesome.
Yeah, when it
currently
works.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Currently, if I go up to Pete in his taco burrito bar, Pete, he's in Port Olisar, he doesn't. He goes, "Hello, how are you?" And I'm like, "All right." He can't interact with him. I wish there was a way to interact with him and in him to go out the back and make something.
Yeah.
Like noodle bar. I'm so angry. The noodle bar doesn't sell noodles.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
It's a joke.
Yeah. We've been waiting for noodles.
1 out of 10 video game.
We've been making our own. I have noodles on the wall in my room. We've been wanting these noodles for such a long time that we've been making them in real life. Still waiting.
The noodles, come on. So I wish there was a way to be like, I'd like one noodle, and she'd be like, okay. And then she goes out and makes them and brings them back, or has a cook out the back. If I could just jump over the counter, I could go and make them myself. But
give me the tools.
Right?
Food's not good here anyways. Yeah.
I think right now, interactivity is something I want to see more of. And we're obviously having that with the inventory system. Mm-hmm. I would love to see more interactivity with the NPCs. And that's what we kind of saw in that gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
So it is coming. It's just when.
Yeah.
When is it coming?
And the shops and patrons, an update to basically those, it was going to be NPCs at coffee stands, pizza bars, kiosks, and more. So maybe also your noodle spot. That was actually scheduled for this update. It got pushed at the last second, I'm guessing because they want to polish it a little bit. So I would expect to see it in December.
Yes, wasn't it that they'd all have new outfits that were actually separate to their workplace? Yeah. I saw that. So that's been pushed, has it? I didn't actually realize that.
It is also the actual AI behavior. So they'll be able to use usables inside of the shops, and they'll. So I think you'll get what you're asking for fairly soon, as long as the servers can keep up. That's always the caveat.
Yeah, because you would obviously know a lot more than I would, but how often is it generally between updates?
3 months.
3 months, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be shorter. It's a shorter turnaround after the third update. So generally the updates fall at the end of quarter one, which usually pushes into April, at the end of quarter two, which usually pushes into July, I think. April, May, June. Yeah, July. At the end of quarter three, which like you're seeing now, is pretty late. It's the end of October, beginning of November. But then the last update actually comes mid-December. So we only really have like a month and a half until the next update.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because they generally, they get it out and then they do like a 2-week break for their employees for the holidays.
Or that's good.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. So it's not too long away. So that's positive. I'm just excited. I want more.
And that's
more.
Well, that's the nice part about the update cycle is that you'll start to recognize it. It's a lot of excitement, and then kind of people get settled with the update, and it's about a month of like, okay, this is cool. We're just kind of playing, and then that last month is sort of looking towards the next update. People play the previous one a little bit less, and then the excitement builds again, and it starts over. And I think with the way updates are going, the excitement's going to last longer now because of certain changes that are being made. But you'll start to see that, and the cycle will be shorter this quarter.
I think the inventory system alone is going to be bringing new people in, especially people who are a fan of like survival games. Like I expect the kind of what I kind of relate this to is kind of like the DayZ/Arma kind of inventory system. It feels kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
There's another game called Scum, which was a horrible name, but it's another survival game. It's a survival game, and it's like if you thought Star Citizen was like deep, this is insane. It has a metabolism system. So everything you eat has sodium, sugar, all the ingredients, and they affect your body differently. And if let's say you're thirsty, it's not a simple, I'll have a drink. You have the drink and then wait an hour, and then that will go through your system.
So you got to plan ahead. Oh my gosh.
Right?
I've heard of this game, I think.
It's really interesting. Oddly enough, though, I played it last night, and there are a lot of similarities to Star Citizen in terms of the controls.
Yeah.
Like you press F, you hold down F to interact with different things. That's very similar. And even it's a really cool system they have, and I don't know if this is part of the 3.15 inventory update. Can you drag something out of your local or your inventory and put it on the floor?
Yeah. It's not super obvious. I think they need to make it a little better, but there's a little hand icon that you can drop. Yeah.
Okay. In Scum, you can go into your inventory, drag something out of your inventory, and hover it over the ground, and it will actually put a little blue or little like ghost of it to show you exactly where it's going to go.
Right.
If they can do that with Star Citizen, that's fantastic.
They kind of do. So if you
if you place something, right?
If you're placing, just basically use that in the same spot. So it is possible. With the inventory system, by the way, I do agree with you. I think the system itself is going to bring in a lot of new people because now it feels so much more like a game when you can do stuff like that. I mean, you've played 3.14 like you said, and you probably already noticed that the change between the two inventory systems is just monumental.
You can loot people.
Yes. Finally pick their stuff up.
Right? I find it mad that wasn't a thing before.
Yeah.
Now thinking about it. Because, yes, you could pick up their guns. That's fair enough. But the fact you can rummage in this guy's, backpack or whatever and take whatever you want and then stash it in your ship and then take it back to your port and then hide it away until the update comes where we can sell it. Like that kind of stuff is really fun. Yeah. Also, if you kill a player, I'm assuming you'd be able to loot all of their flare items.
Yeah.
That's also, I need glasses. I am a subscriber. I do want to get glasses because there's no glasses in the game, which is silly.
Really?
Unless you're a subscriber.
Okay. Dang. I didn't know that.
It's a flare item. Yeah. But even then, they're all kind of like crazy, like space glasses. I just want like
some regular glasses. Yeah. So
please put it in the game. Yeah.
The way, did you know what their end goal is for the inventory system? Because this is what they just put in is actually just a halfway step.
Oh. No, I didn't go ahead. I have no idea.
So the idea is that they've always wanted to do physicalized inventory. So like on your ship, you'll go in there and you may have seen there are gun racks. There are sometimes lockers that you can access, stuff like that. So they want it to be where instead of accessing some kind of inventory to drag and drop things between the square, you go up to those lockers and literally put the stuff inside of it. Which to a lot of people probably sounds quite tedious. But
that's awesome.
But yeah, that's kind of just like with, I mean, it's not quite as with Scum. Scum sounds a little bit too much, but in a similar vein, they're getting into that sort of immersion.
I could see it. I could see that in my head of being able to drag stuff and have the little ghost of it appear in like a shelf, and you could then put different things. Right. Fallout 4 actually has kind of a similar system with shelves and stuff. You can put different things on shelves. I would love that. For me is like that's like that scratches a part of my brain. It's just like, I love this stuff.
It's exciting. It's good stuff. Yeah. It's like it hits this thing that not many games do. The way that they bring these systems together, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So
what do you think would happen if they did introduce the metabolism system into this game?
Oh man. Well, they're already like, look at the medical system right now, right? It's not that bad. And you have people who are running for the hills. They're like, the game is dead. This is not going to work. And I'm like, this isn't that deep of a medical system.
No, it's not. No, from what I've seen, there are different medicines you can do, and in theory, you can kind of top someone up on something and then add like a different thing.
Yeah,
kind of. There's kind of interesting.
There's
I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of like choice involved in it. I think it hits like a good spot. I don't think it's so deep that it's really going to affect people every second like they think it is. It's the same with eating and drinking. A lot of people thought that was going to be just horrible. Constantly has you looking at your food and water, but I never even pay attention.
No, and also every time I go out, I always go to the burrito bar anyway.
Yeah.
So I always go and grab my Fizz Cola, sponsored. I always go there and pick up a Fizz Cola anyway, so I don't even need to worry about it.
Right. Yeah. Now we have inventory,
Just
so
part of my routine. Yeah.
Keep it all on the ship.
I'm excited. Excited.
So I guess we've kind of already discussed this, but I was hoping to get you said, well, how about we go with Elite Dangerous, since that's a very clear parallel. I've heard that the ship interiors are a big reason why a lot of people have come over to Star Citizen. What is something that really stands out to you as different, though, between the two games?
Well, the ship interiors, definitely.
Yeah.
The fact that you, I think there was a great video by Tech Longer where he says in Elite Dangerous, you step up the ship and then pass out and wake up in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
Which is literally how it happens. That for me was a big part. Like, I think the biggest part that I love, I think, is the fact that you can buy a ship with an interior, like even if it was something small, like the Avenger Titan, you know, go out to the hangar, then open it up, and then you can walk around that interior and explore your own ship.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that while Elite Dangerous has a metric ton of planets and moons and everything, a lot of it is unfortunately not really interactable. There's not really a lot there. With the Odyssey update, they've added in some encampments and stuff where you can go, and there's some pretty interesting, I will say, in Odyssey there's a system where you can go down to like a base, and there's like operations going on. You can scan an NPC, take their security details, and then use that to look on computers to unlock different lockers. Like that. That's really interesting. I like that. But unfortunately, that's very far and few between. It really comes down to depth. It really does come down to depth, and I think even in one star system in Star Citizen, so much more depth there than Elite Dangerous. And I'm not saying Elite Dangerous isn't good. There are people out there who love it. I enjoyed my time with it. I still go back to it every now and again.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's something about Star Citizen that is just, it's bigger. That's, even though it's smaller, it's bigger.
Right.
In terms of possibilities.
You can
the immersion.
You can see it coming together. Like even if there's a lot of empty space right now, you can see how it's everything that's needed's already there. Like it's not like they're not going to be able to find the artists that can build more caves, or they're not going to be able to find the game designers that can build the bases for us. It's I think what attracts people to Star Citizen for the most part is mostly already there. And I think that's why a lot of people are confused about the game. They're like, why are so many people sitting here following this game that's been in development for almost 10 years and just now got a real inventory system, and they're all so happy? And it's like, because those aren't the important things.
Yeah, exactly. I've had, since I've started playing it, because before Star Citizen, I was mainly Kingdom Come Deliverance on my channel, so I have that audience is pretty big still. And I started playing Star Citizen, and I had someone comment basically, "Why are you playing this? It's not out yet. It's not done." I was like, "Have you actually played it?" And the answer most of the time from people I've spoken to is no.
Yeah.
I think to be able to judge this game fully, you need to have played it. Because there's something I can't put fully into words. Those first moments in Area 18 when I stepped out of that hab area, I first started up the game. that was like I mentioned I'm doing a review that's coming out soon, and in that I say this basically: video game has to hook you in the first couple of hours, because if it doesn't, not even in the first hour, it needs to hook you quickly, because people's attention spans are terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
especially
yes.
gamers.
Yes, we're terrible. We're horrible.
You need to grab that player. You need to make them go wow. And that first session I played was just constant wow. I think that people who are saying that it's been in development for ages, and it's something I don't see it like most people do. I think Star Citizen doesn't have a publisher, right? Yeah. They are fully independent. Mm-hmm. Haven't got a publisher breathing down their neck constantly like CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk. They are doing this in their own time. They're taking their time with it. They're doing it at their own pace. And they don't need to have this out at a certain time. And also, the scope from Chris Roberts on this is just, it's bigger than anything else we've ever seen. This is like nothing else. So I don't think you can come into this game or into this community and be like, it should have been out years ago, and compare it to something like the next Call of Duty. You can't do that. Yeah. Building a world, not just a galaxy. It's literally, there is so much here that's going to be in the game when it's finally released. I don't know when that's going to be, but we can play it now. You can play this game now.
Yeah.
And see it, and it's not like you're just watching CitizenCon every year and actually not able to play the game. No, we've been able to play it.
Yeah.
No, I find it annoys me slightly when people like put the game down, because you need to play it for yourself. And what? Cheapest bundle, the starter pack, $45, I think. That's not even a AAA game.
It's not, and you can play for free. You don't. It's so easy to just get the game for free. Like, you don't get it permanently, but like 3 times now they're increasing the amount. But yeah, you can jump into this game and play for free for a week most of the time. Not most of the time, rather, like 3 or 4 times a year.
If I've had more enjoyment out of this from I can't really say that, because I didn't actually buy the game. Mm-hmm. I got gifted it a year ago by one of my subscribers, and unfortunately I couldn't play it. My PC just wouldn't run it. And if I had, let's say, paid the $45 for the Mustang Alpha, I've had more enjoyment from this game than I have from a AAA in years. It's paid itself. It's... I don't understand. I don't understand the negativity, and it's sad, because it is a lot of people, unfortunately, here first.
I think a lot of people attach their disappointment with the industry at large to the easiest target, and in the past, that target's easiest for different people. A lot of times that target is EA. It's very easy to target EA with some of the dumb stuff they do. I mean, like, they make it easy. Ubisoft is sometimes, Ubisoft is sometimes like that. CDPR has been victim to that, but it's kind of like this annoyance with the gaming industry, I think, for a lot of people. And they look at Star Citizen and they're like, oh, you can buy stuff with real money in that game? Well, that must be the epitome of the problem with the industry. You don't really dig into why that's a thing, how it's managed, how it works, how it functions, and how it sort of builds into the game. And so, knee-jerk reaction, really, for most people. And yeah, I agree with you. I think people should play this game if they want to know what it's like. People keep asking questions. They're like, why? Why do people keep putting money into this game?
Find out for yourself.
Yeah. I give away the game. Like,
simple.
it's not hard to get access to this game. There are free fly weeks all the time. There are like dozens of content creators who are constantly giving out game packages. You can literally go into the forum and probably ask somebody, hey, I want to try this game. Can you buy it for me? And they'll be like, oh yeah, sure. People want to spread this game. It's a love. This game is spread by love. And that's why the community is so inviting to new players.
Yeah. And I also have noticed that the demographic is a little bit older.
Yeah.
Than, I don't know, your Call of Duties or other kind of mainstream games at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that helps. I think that really does, because a lot of people are a lot more mature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to people have experience with the game, and they've played it since it first released in the very early days of what, 2014? Wasn't the alpha released in 2014?
They were doing like hangar modules, so you couldn't play the universe like we do now. That was in 2015, I believe.
Okay. But you have those players that are still playing it now, and that kind of speaks for how good this game is, right?
Yeah.
If they're still playing it after 6 years.
It has been a rough ride. It's not been not been particularly easy. That's for sure.
I can understand that, and I've heard stuff, and I'm not going to say it's perfect, because it isn't. I don't think any game is. I will say that the prices of the ships at the moment are too much. That's the only negative I could throw at Cloud Imperium right now, is that the monetary stuff is a bit insane.
Yeah.
I understand that funds the game. Understand that. You don't have to buy anything if you don't want to.
Yeah.
That is all down to personal choice. No one's forcing you to. It's not like a mobile game that's pay £5 now to speed up your timer by 3 seconds. Ooh. You know, it's that kind of stuff that is abhorrent.
Yeah.
There is nothing. You can buy everything or almost everything in the game with in-game credits, and that you can earn pretty damn easily.
And
so it's not,
and we have been told that will always be the case. And it has been the case.
And that's good.
Well,
I will mentioning on that one. Sorry if I'm waffling.
No, it's fine.
I think their communication has been amazing. What I've seen, there's a website that shows exactly like what's in development right this minute. Like, what other game company does? I've never seen that before.
The roadmap's very well done. Yeah.
I've seen roadmaps, but this is like the road, because isn't it like they actually have exactly what parts are being worked on right this minute?
Yeah. So there's like the roadmap that kind of tracks the big items, and then the progress tracker that did every little thing, almost every little thing. And that's actually the product of a lot of years of back and forth between the developers and the community, just trying to figure out what is the right way for you guys to communicate to us what's going on. And this is just the latest attempt. There have been a lot of different ways that they've tried to do it, and many have failed. Many haven't had the right response. So, you know, this one seems to be going okay so far. But it's very detailed. It's very well done. Super polished. Yeah.
I think the most important thing with any video game is communication. I think that is so important. I find it hard to say that this is best, because I've worked with Warhorse Studios, who made Kingdom Come Deliverance quite a lot, and their communication when the game was, you know, released and in kind of like at its peak was fantastic.
Yeah.
They love their community. They would always like message me and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, they would reach out to me. Like,
that's very cool.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm getting those same vibes right now with the Star Citizen Twitter. It's always posting stuff from the community. It's always sharing things, and I appreciate that with any game developer who does that.
I will say that I don't know if you've encountered this yet, but the Star Citizen developers are everywhere. They're makes it sound like they're listening. No, they are so involved.
Right behind you. Yeah.
I talk to a Star Citizen developer on a casual basis, not as a content creator, not as somebody who's like talking to the company or something. I talk to a developer, whether on Discord, on Twitter, or on YouTube, maybe once a week, I would say. And it can be more. They are everywhere. You can go into any Discord and you'll find CIG employees who are there talking to fans about what they like, what they don't like, what's going well with the game, like what kind of other games are they playing, what movies are they into. It's quite wild. And I won't they're all over the place. It's very cool. And it's just, that's part of, I think, what has kept this game going for so long. Like you said before, not only is it because the game has been interesting to these people who've been playing for 6 years, but also because the company's been very good at cultivating a community. They've made some mistakes, but overall it's been great.
I think the people that bash the game need to see that.
Yeah, that does help.
And it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Coming from Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm assuming, I haven't seen any of your videos there, but has your workflow kind of changed in how you make videos for Star Citizen?
I don't think, like, creating and editing and all that stuff, I hate it. That's the worst part. That is I love doing it in the moment.
Yeah, filming it.
I hate the rest of it.
Oh yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah, it's not fun. No, I think the biggest thing for me with Kingdom Come Deliverance, I would always role play as Henry, the main character in that game. There was a DLC called From the Ashes where you could build your own town. You could like place a bakery here and place the pub over there or whatever. It was kind of limited. It had like set places, but my favorite series I ever did was the Biscuit Town series, because I called the series Biscuit Town, and it was me as Henry, bailiff of Biscuit Town, who was this completely snobbish, up himself douche canoe who was completely useless and no one listened to, because all the NPCs don't generally interact, and if you sit next to them, they'll get up. So I used that and kind of put it into the narrative that everyone didn't like him.
Yeah.
And I love that. I was able to play this character. With Star Citizen, it takes that to another level. Because as I'm playing, I can use the FOIP feature, which is very hit and miss most of the time. You have to have the exact lighting, otherwise I can't do videos at night. It's completely buggered. My mouth is like this all the time.
Yeah, it always
it's awful,
all over the place.
Yeah, but with the recent videos I've been able to do, I've been able to play Evelyn Wondersnatch. She was this idiot. All my characters are idiots, apparently. But every facial feature that you see on her face is me.
Yeah.
That's me face acting. It's very weird. I'm for the first time ever, I'm able to act in my videos. That's a bizarre thing. It's not just voice acting. I'm able to over pronunciate words, because you kind of need to for it to pick up everything.
Right.
And love that, and I think that is such a fantastic tool. Content creators, I think that's brilliant, and for me, that's really helped.
I wonder, because I've seen that. I've seen it. I've tried it myself. Like you said, though, you need a well-lit area, and mine was not. So I was like, I'm gonna put this down for a little while. But I've seen it actually take off for a few people, kind of to be a thing, and it looks like it's really working for you. Do you think that might bring in a new form of covering games? Because, you know, like you said, some games you can't do that. Do you think we're going to have content creators that are fully virtual?
Already are. I mean, the last 2 years, I think, you have started having VTubers who are like these. There was that woman on Twitch who is in a one of those motion capture suits the entire time. Yeah. She has this amazing, like, mind-blowing. Yeah. I really do. I think if they use this technology, I would love to see this in other games. Right now, I'm going to say it, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, whatever that is called, I want that in it because I feel going back to a game without it's just a character standing there looking like this, not actually moving their mouth or anything.
Blank-faced, yeah.
Exactly. And the only thing you can do, and I think the most important thing for me with Evelyn is, if I was to just stand straight and do the mouth talking and all that, it doesn't really work. You need to be constantly moving the mouse realistically to kind of her head movements to kind of...
Yeah, kind of moving around like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's all to kind of fix the illusion a little bit, where I put my head back as I laugh, or I put it down as I laugh. You know,
it looks like you're talking
like
when you do that, yeah.
Yeah, it immerses the viewer more. I would love to see content creators using that a lot more.
Yeah.
And especially obviously in Star Citizen. But I just wish more games had it. Like I such a cool little thing. And for people with anxiety, like I have quite bad anxiety in real life, and being able to hide behind a character in a video game without having to be on camera all the time for every video would be really nice.
Yeah.
Because there are days I don't like myself, you know?
Exactly. Sometimes you get out of bed and you're just like, somebody else get in front of the camera.
Yeah. I really like it, and I think it's helped role playing as well. Is just it's taken it to a whole new level.
Yeah, it's very
people have asked if I could maybe do like news sections. So there's a free flight or like a big expo that's happening in Star Citizen soon this month, isn't there?
Yeah, end of November, probably like November 20th, 23rd-ish. It'll be a couple weeks long.
But people have been asking if maybe Evelyn could go there and like present from the expo.
Oh, you should definitely do that. Definitely should do that.
Kind of, yeah, I may have to make it a little kind of like journalism thing. And,
the expo,
and like be like, keep filming, cameraman. And there's no cameraman there. It's obviously me doing all of it, but that could have, it's silly stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
like
gonna be
videos. I'll always say, edit that out, editor. I don't have an editor. I do everything myself.
So obviously the editor will leave it in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm added to the comedy.
The expo is going to be good fun. You should definitely do that. So I'd like to finish up just by asking you a little bit about your future with this game. You seem to really love it. Obviously, you're here to stick around. You want to make a future in this game. I don't know if it's going to be your primary game going forward, but in terms of like your plans as a space person, what do you want to do?
Space person? Yeah, I'm going to space.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I'm getting on that weird phallic ship that guy from Amazon has, going up there. Why is it shaped like that? I don't know. Who thought that was a good idea? Anyway, that's not the point.
All this time, all this technological advancement, that's the shape we come up with.
It's almost like he's compensating for something. So, anyway, yes. Basically, my channel is now a Star Citizen channel.
Okay.
Until Kingdom Come 2 gets announced.
That's what I was, yeah.
Because until obviously Star Citizen, I was struggling. I will be honest, because I couldn't keep doing Kingdom Come videos because I've played that game for 3 years on the channel. There was nothing left. Yeah. I've done everything, you know. And I've been wanting something fresh and new, but the only problem with YouTube, you never know what's going to take off, what the algorithm's going to like. Star Citizen, though, blew me out of the water. That first video, I didn't expect more than 300 views, but it just blew up. I don't know. It's all, YouTube is never predictable. It's something that just happens and you just go with it. So I've been going with it, and I've not. Thing is, if the game on the channel had become really big and I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't have continued doing videos. I'm really enjoying the game. It's so good. It's so amazing.
So glad these things both worked out.
Right? Yeah. So I'm loving it. The interactions on my channel are great. I'm going to keep doing it because I'm loving it. I'm doing what I love. right now, and that's fantastic. And when Kingdom Come 2 gets announced, or when the Switch port comes out soon, I want to do videos on that. But I'm not going to stop playing Star Citizen. It's going to be a big part of the channel, and I'm going to continue doing my silly Evelyn Wondersnatch videos because that's what I enjoy doing.
Okay. So what's
messing
your
around with the new updates?
What's your profession of choice then?
Have you
had enough time? Yeah, have you had enough time to figure that out yet?
No,
space YouTuber.
Space YouTuber. Professional Wondersnatch. I quite enjoyed what I did of the mining, even though I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do some. I'm a bit of everything. I love the bounty hunting.
Okay.
Really enjoyed the bounty hunting that I've done so far. With that, you kind of need someone else to go with you, either in the turret or like a support ship, because I'm terrible on my own.
You could use a little help sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, the mining's really fun. Plus, you get to see those beautiful moons, which I keep calling planets because I'm an idiot and that keeps happening.
They feel like planets. They're huge.
Yeah, right. They have atmospheres at times. Anyway, so doing that, what else is there? I don't enjoy the delivery stuff. That's not really my thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever be a career kind of person, even though Fallout New Vegas that was the main character, and I love that game. He's a career. Bounty hunting. I want to kind of be like that cool kind of like space person who's just a bit of a badass, who's against the law, but not too much.
Not so much that they get hunted down constantly.
Exactly, even though that's a lot of fun. I would love to be on the run from a lot about. That's something I need to plan at some point. I want to do like a thing where I'm like, all right, everyone, you need to hunt me down, and I'll just be running. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I like a bit of everything apart from couriering.
I think there's going to be a big spectrum in terms of the criminality, like you were saying. So I think you should be able to fit in there and find some jobs that you can still do, but also be a little unlawful.
I still haven't gone down to that government base to delete my record. I haven't done that yet.
The security post.
I haven't escaped prison yet. That's something I need to do.
Yeah, the law system's got some work that needs to be done, but it's a good idea, and I hope it does do what they need it to do in the game.
Yeah. I also, aren't there going to be police on checkpoints on the ground as well?
Yeah.
Space stations and stuff, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah. So it's a lot that's going to change, but there's the future holds a lot of possibilities.
So excited.
So I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show today and for giving me an hour of your time on the podcast. Before I do all the things and plug my stuff, please tell people anything that you would like to say to the people, but also let them know where they can find you, YouTube, if you're streaming on Twitter or wherever it is that you might want people to come check you out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you to all the people that asked for me to be on here, because when you emailed me originally, you were like, "People want you to be on the show," and I was like, "Really? People want me?"
Yeah, people love your videos.
That means a lot. So thank you to the Star Citizen community. Thank you all. Thank you very much. I mainly do videos, edited videos, over on my channel, SxyBiscuit. It's not hard to find. Well, it depends, because the word sexy, YouTube doesn't like that, so I may be changing that.
I gotta
soon.
ask, is that like a double thing for English people because they like biscuits and sexy things? Is that how that works?
No, it's not anything exciting. It's literally because I'm a dingus who likes silly
just like biscuits.
So, well, I do like biscuits, but that's not where the biscuit part comes from. The biscuit part comes from Bleak Expectations, which is a comedy BBC 4 radio series that me and my dad used to listen to. And there's a character in that called Harry Biscuit. I really like that. I like the word biscuit. And then I was sat there because I wasn't planning my channel to go anywhere. I was literally just going to upload gaming videos back in 2018 just to myself, just to have. And I jokingly was like, well, SxyBiscuits, that's a funny sounding name. No one's ever going to see it. So
3 years later.
Yeah, yes. But that may be changing. I'm still not decided yet. But yeah, SxyBiscuit, I make videos on there about every other day. I don't have a schedule. I'm not a schedule person because if I did have a schedule, I'm terrible at keeping schedules. I'm very sporadic. I do sometimes stream on YouTube as well. And if you ever want to contact me, the best place is on Twitter at SxyBiscuit, all one word. That's the best place to talk to me. I'm always on Twitter, not Discord, nowhere else. Bebo, I'm on Bebo if anyone wants to follow me on there.
What's Bebo?
MySpace. Have you not seen? You don't know what Bebo is?
I don't.
No. Oh, Bebo was before Facebook. That was like back in the old. That was MySpace. Bebo. That was kind of similar to that.
Okay, I guess I was in the team MySpace at that time, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Bebo was kind of like you'd go on your page and you'd have music blast in your ears as soon as you went onto anyone's page. It was just a mess. It was
what a delight.
So yeah, if you want to follow me on there, even though it's defunct, and that's my plugs. Thank you for having me, mainly.
Yeah, of course.
It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this, and I'm sorry if I waffle too much. But
no, that's why we're here to talk. We love when you talk. Yeah, but it's great to get different perspectives on the game and really gaming in general. I love talking about games other than Star Citizen. So thanks for giving some input on other games towards the beginning. But
sorry, yeah.
This has been episode 23 of the Launch Sequence podcast. This is I want to say it's the Halloween special because Halloween's in 2 days, but we didn't do anything special. I'm sorry.
Hang on. Ooh.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, it's the Halloween special. There was a boo, and to celebrate it, Spooky Tomat is out on the merch site. You can find that on the website spacetomatogaming.com. And in addition, we're also doing an actual Halloween special on stream on Saturday. I just realized this is going to be out after that, so sorry everybody, but we did do a Halloween special. Make sure to come by for our next one next year. But thank you for listening. This has been the Launch Sequence, and we are obviously on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We got the Discord server. Wherever you would like to find Space Tomato, I am there. It's all down below in the show notes or down in the video description on YouTube. Please leave a like, a subscribe, share it with your friends, and we would very much appreciate that. Finally, if you would like to help support this podcast, I keep this ad-free by doing Patreon. Patreon supporters are able to make this all happen. So if you would like to help support the podcast, the videos, or anything else we do, you can join that down below for as low as $1 a month. Finally, SxyBiscuit, one last time, I'd like to give you the ultimate thanks for being here and give everybody a goodbye and have a lovely week.